Aloha, McGrew Crew, and welcome back to another Remasculate podcast. I got a great guest today. I'm so excited about this. It's been a while since I've done a podcast. I apologize. With this whole coronavirus thing, I've got plenty of time back at the house. I've had some gigs get canceled, and so I'm going to take this time to revamp and revitalize Remasculate. The podcast is back. I'm back, and I'm going to trim it down a little bit. I'm not going to have the opening music today. I'm not going to have the closing music today because I'm actually recording this on the wife's computer. My computer is upstairs in my bag. So this is going to be a streamed line, right to the point podcast with a very good comic, magician. We're going to find out a whole lot about him as we talk today. It's a comic that I am glad to have on the show, a comic that I am very pleased to call a friend. Let's get right to it. Here's Jimmy Shubert. Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Remasculate podcast. I am so happy to have, as my guest today, a comic that I have been aware of for years. I've been a fan of for years. He's worked with a lot of my friends. I don't think you and I have ever worked together before, but
no, we've hung out. We've hung out at the Improv.
Yeah,
at the Ice House.
Yeah,
I know. And again, yeah, I've known about you for years. Everybody talks about how funny you are. You know, like people work in clubs. I always listen to those people go, and they always your name comes up, but it's just. Yeah, so we haven't really hung out, like we met each other, hung out earlier on. But yeah, I've been watching you. Obviously, follow each other on social media.
Yeah, right. So
ladies
and gentlemen, please welcome to the Remasculate podcast, Jimmy Shubert. Jimmy, thank you so much for actually doing this with me.
I appreciate you having me on, man. It's this is we're living in strange times, my friend.
Is it end times?
Social distancing.
Is it end times?
Well, you know what it is? Here's the thing, and I was thinking about this earlier today while I was journaling, is that there's events that happen that really literally change. Like I knew on September 11th, after that, the world was never going to be the same. I think after this pandemic, and they'll probably get a hold of it in a couple of weeks if everybody stays away from each other, but it will change how people interact, how people, do things in their lives because, you realize how great you have it. You've been listening to people bitch about America for, like years. It's like, look, I've traveled the world. I've been to China.
Yeah, me too.
I've been to Wuhan. I've been to South Korea. I've been to, South America and Hong Kong, Singapore, the Netherlands, Brussels, and the thing is, you realize how good we have it. And people have taken a lot of things for granted.
Yeah, too many Americans don't understand how good we have it because they haven't traveled like you and I.
Well, look, hey, it ain't perfect, but it's better than a lot of stuff. I mean, and you see how the pandemic has hit Italy, and obviously their population is older than our population, and they have socialist medicine, which nobody, it's not great. They got overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And they didn't, and everybody else looked at it. And I think if everybody stays away from each other for a couple of weeks.
Which doesn't bother me at all. Stay away from me.
Yeah. I don't know, my life hasn't changed at all, really, except I'm not telling jokes.
Well, one of the things that people keep talking about, they're comparing America to all these other countries, like Italy that has it, and Iran that has it, and all this kind of. But, you can't do apples and oranges. America, we don't have the same kind of cultural stuff. We don't grab and hug each other and kiss each other on the cheek like Italy does.
No, but Iran is a theocracy. And so, they're a little behind the medical times because, you can't really talk about, if it's theocracy, you can't really introduce new science in.
Right.
And so
rub some camel dung on it. You'll be fine.
They're a little more vulnerable, but also, this virus does not do well in heated conditions. That's why I got my thermostat set to 77 right now. It only functions in moist environments. I should send you a picture of. I'll text you a picture. Maybe you can post it in here.
Okay.
Are we live now, or are you going to post this later?
I'll post this later. Yeah.
Okay. I'll send you a picture. I'll text it to you so you can put in. This is how I travel now. I have goggles. I have a medical mask. I have a cloth mask on top of that. I wear rubber gloves and a hoodie, and I pull it all the way down, and so no skin is exposed, and so I'm not, you know.
So you look like the Unabomber, but for germs.
I look, like exactly. I look like that. And listen, I got to tell you something. The Unabomber's methods were off. But what he said in that, in his
manifesto.
I'm sure he probably didn't like that word either. But I mean, he was quite brilliant. He really was a brilliant guy, but he was just a little off.
Yeah, just a little
off. But, the guy had the right idea. I mean, he was living in the woods in a shack.
He knew this was coming.
I said, living down my river in a van.
Yeah, he was social. He was social distancing.
He was social distancing before it was cool. And Bigfoot is the king, the undisputed heavyweight world champ of social distancing. I think I saw, maybe I didn't, who knows, but it's, I mean, you gotta laugh and you gotta make fun. Otherwise you'll fucking cry because it's pretty sad. It's affecting the older population, the most vulnerable population. And thank God it's not affecting kids as much because, I had a phone call with a friend of mine, his old roommate. He's following him on Facebook and he was out partying with a bunch of people. And now he's in the intensive care unit on a respirator with 30% lung function. So people, the problem with this disease is that you're contagious before you get it.
Right.
So, and then the other thing is that it affects people differently based on, like, I guess people with type A blood are more susceptible to it than, some people it's a death sentence. Other people feel no symptoms at all.
Yeah. One of the things I just heard a while ago, because you said, you haven't been listening to the news, is that they said one of the things with the younger people that might be getting it is a vape thing, that their lungs are already damaged from vaping. So that's a new thing they're just saying today.
I didn't say I don't get my news. I said I don't watch my news. I read my news. I read my news.
No, I do. I was just teasing you.
No, I know. I'm not walking around over here like an idiot. I mean,
you're not walking around.
I just don't watch it anymore because it's all become opinion-based bullshit. It's like, just give me the facts. I just trust that I'm smart enough to be able to make my own decision. But it seems like, quite frankly, the news is the reason I got rid of my cable box.
Oh, I don't.
I mean, why do you think they call it fucking programming?
Right. Well, I think what's horrible now is they've confused the editorial with the news. Like, you'll say, well, that's a talking head. Yeah, but they're on a news channel. It didn't have, remember the old days, like you'd watch the news at 10 o'clock and they'd go, and now here's the editorial with Bob Nelson,
Yeah.
So you knew exactly what you were getting. I think now they've purposely confused people with editorial and news.
I mean, could you imagine having a broadcast journalism degree from McGill University, the premier journalistic school in the country? You're going to sit around and talk about someone's tweets for 24 hours? I mean, really, is that really fucking news?
No.
I mean, I got to be honest, to tell you the truth. It's like, I think that, we needed this because this is going to wake us the fuck up. I think it's going to wake us up in the fact that, people will not take things for granted anymore. I think people will forget all the bullshit. I mean, it's really tough to worry about plastic straws when people are fucking dying from a world pandemic. When you're just worried about surviving yourself, I mean.
Well, you would hope that that's right. But I saw a tweet today where somebody was complaining that there wasn't enough women on Trump's health advisory board.
Well, that's because they're morons. That's because they buy into this. Look, I don't give a fuck who's on the panel. I don't give a care if it's all black guys, if it's all women, as long as they're the best people to get a hold of this situation and figure it out. People are going to get. I'm telling you something right now, and and I'm going to get murdered for saying this, but I think Trump's going to go down as one of the greatest presidents ever. I mean, ever. He will get elected easily in 2020. And I mean, the way he made some decisive action early on, banning flights from China,
racist.
Probably saved. The fact that he's going to get some money to people who are most affected by this, get them a check, get some money going. The way he's handled it, the way he's brought in private industry. I mean, this they think they're going to destroy the economy, but it doesn't make a difference. Trump's going to get reelected no matter what they do.
Yeah, now
people see through this now. I mean, look, I've slowly come on board, and I just want the best guy for the job up there. And when you're offering me a 78-year-old socialist and a 77-year-old guy with dementia in return for what we have now, then you've lost your fucking mind. And they've been telling lies and lies and lies and lies
for years.
So many years now. Nobody believes it. Nobody believes it. I get the news for the media. We live in the information age. Just because you say it doesn't make it true. We can all check it out online.
Right. But if you say you've checked it out online, or if you've had this conversation with anybody, you'll go, well, I read this on Breitbart. Oh, you're going to quote Breitbart? Oh, you're going to use that as your...
Well, that's stupid. It's called cognitive dissonance. I mean, if you confront people with a bunch of facts that is contrary to their argument, they will go further into their beliefs. They won't realize that you're trying to give them facts. They'll go further into their beliefs. I don't care what anybody says. They were watching Trump. They were spying on Trump. I mean, everybody knows that. It's the fact that whether we're going to get prosecution now, that's another story. But these people basically had a silent coup to overthrow a guy. I mean, you look at people think Trump's an idiot, which is his greatest asset, but he's not. You know what he is? He's really smart. He's 6 moves ahead of you, and he's also. I mean, I just think the guy's doing a hell of a job. I mean, the economy was soaring and swinging. I've had one of the best years of my life. And now,
me too.
And now, look what we're at now. So and people can you call him the Orange Man. You can make fun of his hair. You can do all that generic, stupid shit you want to. But I mean, if you look at the job the guy's doing, I mean, the guy's appointed like 100 and maybe 45 or 35 federal judges.
Yeah. I
mean, almost altering the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And they're not reporting any of this. I mean, the guy's making some moves and so
gorgeous chess moves.
It's gorgeous chess moves. Anyway, the point is, and you sit there and try to talk with people or have a civil discussion with people, and they sit there and they watch MSNBC or freaking CNN, and they're like a parrot. They just recite the talking points. Look, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. You know what I am? I'm a human being. I have a little bit of empathy for people. I would say that on some things I'm socially liberal. On other things I'm fiscally conservative and everything else. I think that, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a system that helps people, but also, give you a hand up, not a handout.
Yeah.
I think we all need to exercise some more personal responsibility. I think that, you look at all the taxes we pay, and if that's not enough money to run the country, then what the fuck have we come to?
Right. If that's not enough money to run this country, we need some new leaders. I mean, that's what it comes down to. If you can't,
it's always like, all the problems we have are created by politicians, and their solution is more fucking laws and legislation.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I mean, you can't legislate stupidity. I'm sorry. It's just, believe me, I know it's, you look around, you just can't legislate stupidity.
Well, it doesn't, if you look around, it appears to me, and I'm sure others, that they have purposely tried to dumb down the system. Look at the way the schools are teaching and Common Core.
With antiquated history books, and it's all rewritten history, so it makes it palatable for everybody so they don't get their feelings hurt. But that's not real history.
Yeah.
I mean, read the People's Almanac, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, look, a lot of people say, old white men are the problem. Well, read a fucking history book, will you? I mean, a lot of people did a lot of horrible shit to each other, including the slaves were initially sold by the Africans. None of it was okay, or none of it, but it's history.
Right.
I mean, that stuff happened. I mean, they didn't know better. We've become evolved. I mean, it wasn't that long ago we were actually hunting and killing our own food.
Yeah.
And now we've turned, and I got to tell you, as a human being, it's like 80% of how you feel is about what you put into your body. And we've taken that whole industry and we've turned it over to strangers who then feel the need to shoot up the meat with steroids and put sugar in the milk and all this stuff and really fuck with it. I mean,
why are little girls getting breasts at 10 and 11 years old? It's because the hormones they stuck into chickens to make chicken breasts bigger for you to eat.
Yeah, and that's not really food, is it?
No.
So I think that... I think there's a lot of things that people need. I mean, if you look at the back of the ingredients of a can of soup in our country and the back of the ingredients of a can of soup in Europe, I mean, it's like there's 20 more extra ingredients. And what the fuck? Is that necessary?
Yeah.
I mean,
one of the things that I discovered from traveling was real food. Like if you're in Italy and you go to a tiny little restaurant, they cook the food right there. It's not it's not Cisco prepared meat sauce where they open a can and pour it like our restaurants. So I've said I wish somebody would do a book for America to say these are the places to eat because they cook from scratch. Wouldn't you love to know every place that you could go that cooked from scratch?
Let me tell you something. I travel. One of my favorite things to do is be off the road and be able to make. I can make dough. I'll make my own raviolis. I'll make my own stuffing for my raviolis and make my own raviolis. And then I don't do a red sauce. I do like a lemon, butter, sage, and hazelnut sauce that I cook it in. It's unbelievable. But
you're making me hungry, Jimmy.
I'm sorry, man. I like to cook, bro. I like to cook and so I'm kind of like that's what. Thank God, I can work on some recipes here from home. I have some time because I really do. It's like therapy. I like cooking therapy.
But look how many people today. How many times have you seen? And of course, this will be taken as a slam because it's not PC. But how many times have you seen women say that they can't cook or they weren't taught to cook? But you're a guy, you can cook. I'm a guy, I can cook because my mom always said, if you can read, you can cook because you read a cookbook. But there's so many people that are like, oh, I don't cook.
Well, it's funny. I just bought a cookbook, but I can't use it because every recipe starts with take a clean pan. Now, here's the thing. No, I'm kidding. I'm just, you're right. Exactly. If you can cook. I mean, I don't know. People go. I used to go out with a girl. She couldn't cook, and she would use a smoke alarm as a timer.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like Ice Cube. She would eat Taco Bell. I'm going. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. So
what are you gonna do?
All these younger people now are going to be in quarantine, getting delivery food, and because they're saying, call for delivery, don't go out to restaurants. So who has been delivering forever? Chinese restaurants. So who's going to benefit from us being in our homes from the virus?
That's how they get you. Doubles back around. They start the virus, they profit from the virus. That's how. See who? Yeah, I knew it.
So.
Well, I'll tell you one thing though that it's exposed a weakness is that we've relied on China for all our manufacturing for many years. I think all that's going to come back. I think we placed ourselves in a very vulnerable position because they held up the medicines and supplies because of the tier 1 trade deal. This virus came out of China, and there's a lab there, and people talk about it. I don't care what anybody says. I believe they weaponized this, and whether they released it on purpose or whether it got away from them, I believe that it comes from China. They know where it comes from. Believe me, there's stuff they're not telling us. Let me tell you something. Whenever time billionaires stop, like Major League Baseball or basketball or hockey are going to lose billions of dollars over this.
Yeah.
You should be paying attention.
Yeah, I knew it got real.
They know something that they're not telling us. I mean, they're telling us not to panic because obviously, people are panicking.
I knew it got real when I went to the Apple store and it was closed. When Apple isn't trying to sell you something, there's a problem.
Yeah, well, I think that this is going to really wake people up. I think people you sit here, you watch the Idiot Box. I mean, the new American dream is not for you. It's almost unaffordable now. You get to watch TV and the Idiot Box, and you get to watch these other people who can dance with a star or sing, and you get to text your vote in over the AT&T network while you eat Pizza Hut and Haagen-Dazs and wash it down with Coca-Cola and work on your type 2 diabetes, and you wake up and you realize you no longer live in a country that resembles anything of what America once was or used to be, and you call to complain. You're talking to somebody in India.
Gosh, we sound like we just fell asleep and woke up in the movie Idiocracy, huh?
Yeah. Well, I just think it's like, we've become so complacent. I mean, when I see a guy coming down the street at me on a hoverboard, he's just on this little hoverboard, just going down the street on some wheels. I'm going, what? Is this too much for you to lift it to the knees? You're just going to lean your way around a planet, you lazy, shipless fuck? Come on.
Yeah, I saw one of those the other day in Boulder, Colorado. It only had the one wheel right in the middle. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, those two.
Yeah, and I was like, what is that guy on?
Well, it always looks like a good idea. You see one of them scooters until you get a concussion and 14 stitches across your K-hole because you should be going a scooter at 52 years old. You shouldn't be driving a scooter at 52.
You shouldn't be on a scooter with a man bun with a backpack.
That's right. You should be on a scooter with a man. You should be on a scooter, fucking period. Scooter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't, it's like, I feel it's weird, man. I think all this stuff, the social media will go down as one of the great wastelands of our era and our generation. It's like this. There's nothing social about it.
It's antisocial.
It's antisocial. It's nothing but hate.
Well,
there's nothing but I love how you create content, or like you create original content,
right?
And you're up there and you're putting it online, and then some douchebag who's living in his parents' basement, fucking playing PlayStation for 8 hours and drinking Red Bull and eating Doritos and beating off till his dick's orange is going to weigh in on something you created or did. And you go, hey, fuck face, all right? I got more fucking class in my little finger than you have in your entire fucking body. How dare you judge me, you fucking prick?
Yeah, it's funny. It's so funny you said that, because just the other day that basically happened. That I had posted a video that I had made, and somebody went, oh, so unfunny, from an unfunny failed comic. That's what they put, unfunny failed comic. And I'm like, I have got a Comedy Central. I've got 6 albums, a new album about to come out. I've got 3 CMA awards for radio show. I went, what have you done, fucker?
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, listen, here's the thing about that stuff. That's some loser projecting all their miserableness onto your life. Now they can do it anonymously in the safety of the cubicle, where they work some fucking soul-crushing 9-to-5 fucking job.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know what it's like to be an artist. You have no idea. I mean, I'm a failed comic. What do you mean I'm a failed comic? Well, because I'm not Dane Cook?
Exactly.
Some people don't want to be Dane Cook. Some people want to be who they are.
Well, Jimmy, you've been around for a long time. You've worked with some great names. You are a great comic yourself. Don't you believe that somehow the industry just tells people who they can like and not like?
Well, it's like music. It's the same thing. I mean, if you don't get in lockstep like they, and recite the mandate, then it's other thing. It's like people go, you need to be more vulnerable on stage. I go, I'd love to be, but I live in this world. All right, I gotta got a callus on my feelings. I grew up with 6 brothers in the 70s. All right, my dad was a homicide cop. I'd like to pretend like, we all get to live in this, make-believe world that you think actually fucking exists.
Yeah.
The world was filled with horrible people that do horrible shit to each other, and you try to be the best version of yourself possible. But, I mean, we've gotten so far away from it, man. We really have. And I think that the next great revolution in this country is going to be a spiritual revolution where people reconnect with each other and you get away from that shit. None of that stuff makes a difference. I mean, think about it for a minute. What the fuck if artificial intelligence was training us to work for it? I mean, people walk around staring at their cell phones for 8 hours, 9 hours, and make no human contact.
Yeah, social media to me has now become social engineering. I mean, I think that's what we're learning from it.
Phase 1 is incomplete. You release all these. You see what happens. These people you watch on television, like the fucking Kardashians, which is like, that's what happens when Roe versus Wade collides with the democratically controlled school system. You get to cast a fucking Jersey Shore or fucking the Kardashians.
Yeah.
People watch these people. They think that's the way they're supposed to actually fucking interact with them.
Do you remember back in the old days, when I say old days, I mean like the 70s, when the 70s, like when all the models used to be blonde, leggy women, and they called it the California look, that everybody wanted that blonde, beachy kind of nature girl. And then all of a sudden now, every commercial, every product has a Kardashian look-alike. They all look like... Let's just look at the makeup industry. I mean, let's look at it really for what it is. I mean, these makeup executives make millions and billions of dollars reaffirming women's negative self-image of themselves. That's why they got to get up and put this war paint on. I mean, with fake lashes and eyelash extensions, and really it's all surface. Because believe me, I've never. I mean, we live in a crazy time. Skinny girls think they're fat girls think they're skinny, ugly girls think they're pretty girls think they're ugly. I mean, what the fuck's it's so
going
confused.
on? And you get involved with somebody like that, who has more mood swings in a Count Basie orchestra, and then if fucking the self-esteem is up and down and over and out and off the charts, and you're trying to calm them down, reaffirm that okay, it's look, none of that shit's important. But
Jimmy, stop mansplaining. Stop mansplaining.
Well, let me explain. I'm not mansplaining. I'm just telling you what it is. I mean, you know the makeup industry has been hijacked by the breast cancer awareness people, because that's why the problem is, part of the reason is because half that stuff is chemicals that you put on your body, and some of that may be responsible for the negative reactions your body's having. So I mean, I'm not, look, I know it's too much truth, and the further we separate ourselves, but a lot of that stuff, I mean, you get up in the morning, you're putting on this self tanner, all those chemicals with a bronzing mitt, you're rubbing all those chemicals over your skin. The largest organ on your body is your skin, and you're covering it in chemicals.
Yeah, they said the same thing about with deodorant, which has aluminum in it, and they say aluminum is what causes some of the dementia and Alzheimer's.
Yeah, that's why I don't wear it. And it comes in handy when you're social distancing. People stay away from you because you smell like a...
Stay 6 feet away from him. He smells like a camel fart.
No. A camel fart. And everybody's complaining about the straws. Listen, straws have been hurting camels for a long time, and now all of a sudden it's hurting a turtle, and it's unacceptable.
Yeah, now, if you don't want to drink out of a cup that somebody has Corona-19 on, you're going to use a straw, right? But now I can't get one because...
I think this is where all this started. You know what I mean? Now you put your lips on the fucking... That's where the virus is, and that's what's happening.
Yeah. See, the PC people are destroying us, and we didn't even know it.
Hey, Steve, let me tell you something. Fuck that turtle. I had a straw stuck in my nose for about 7 years, and no one gave a shit about me. All right? The turtle's got to get himself to a meeting. He'll be fine. All right, he's got to get a sponsor. He'll be fine.
We need some turtle NA. That's what we need.
Yeah, boy, man, it's a little nerve-wracking. I'm sure people are scared, people are nervous, and people should take this time to actually just kind of focus, settle down, do some meditating, do some journaling. Get yourself in shape, get out, get a walk. People should really just calm down and relax and be thankful for everything you have in your life. Because, let's say this pandemic, it's out of hand. We'll be fighting for the survival of the species.
Yeah. Now, let me ask
you a question. You think the whales are going to come save us when we're in trouble? Huh?
No. I don't think the whales have a mug that says "Save the humans" on it.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting. I mean, fingers crossed. I'm actually, after I get done here, I'm going to go say my rosary. I'm saying my rosary. I'm praying for humanity. Because, if this thing gets out of hand, I think it's not. I think you're going to get it contained. But if it does, it will be, it's going to wipe out a lot of people. Well, someone said something earlier that, humans are the virus. And
I saw
and
that.
The Wuhan Chinese virus is the cure to get rid of all these people.
Yeah, to clean the planet off.
Yeah.
I think Ricky Gervais, was the one I read that said something like that.
Well, it's, it's easy to say that and kind of people are losing their lives over this, man. It's not a fucking joke. You think, hey, I wonder if the dinosaurs were all sitting around telling jokes as their extinction became imminent. I want everybody sitting around cracking jokes.
Well, they couldn't wash their hands because their arms were too short.
They couldn't jerk off either, which makes quarantine very difficult for them.
Well, let me ask you a question. If this goes bad, do you have the skills to survive? Do you think you learned enough as a kid, over the years? Like, can you hunt fish, start a fire?
I got a case of water and a go bag in my fucking closet, bro. I live in Los Angeles. There's an earthquake. I got to have a go bag ready at all times. You know what I mean?
Well, you're living in a place that could be like the Will Smith movie, I Am Legend, at any point. It could just go bad.
You know what? I live in a nice area. I have a nice, comfortable dwelling. I got a nice little exercise area. I got plenty of movies and CDs and stuff to keep me entertained for months. I got enough, hopefully enough cash to get me through the next 3 months if I need to, considering I'll budget myself really well and not freak out. And so we'll see what happens. But if it goes on past that, it's time to it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting for humanity.
Now, as a kid, did you Were
I
you?
hunted as a kid.
Did you do all that stuff?
We used to skate. Oh, are you kidding me, man? We used to go hunt. We used to go deer hunting. I used to go to small game hunting. My dad had. When I was like 12 and 13, we go out rabbit hunting and pheasant hunting, and I saw the greatest thing. Like we were hunting with my friend's dad, Johnny Millens, and Johnny Millens, he was a great hunter, man. He was like a real kind of outdoorsman, and he just bam, he blasted his gun. He hit this rabbit in the back and kind of spun him off to the side, and then he came snugging up. He put the gun down, picked it up by its hind legs, hit it in the back of the neck. It went limp. He pulled out his pocket knife, gutted it, ripped out the organs, grabbed it by the front and hind legs, yanked it out so the rest of the organs fell out, put it in his game pocket, picked up his gun, and kept moving. You know, I mean, that was like some real hunting skills. And then we would take them back to our house, and we'd get rid of we'd pluck the pheasants, we'd skin the rabbits, and we would actually take those firm, we salt them up, and we'd make them really nice. And we had mittens made out of rabbits, and everything else.
Damn, you're going full Daniel Boone.
Well, that's how I grew up. Even though we grew up fishing and hunting and spent our time and catching snakes and everything. I mean, I had one of the last great traditional American childhood. I mean, where you get out in the morning, you go ride your bike. We once rode our bike 17 miles to go fishing at the Churchville Reservoir and catch fish all day. And then when it started to get dark, we'd drive back. My mom, if I had caught up, was on Academy Road. It was about 8:30 at night. She yelled, "Where the hell have you catch fish?" Yelling at us.
Here's my stringer full of fish. That's where I've been.
That's exactly right, man. I mean, we all went to hunter training classes, and we all went to learn how to, because if my dad had 6 boys, and so, 6 boys. And so if we all went deer hunting and like 3 of us got a deer, well, then we had meat for the winter. I mean, that's the kind of thing. You use every part of the deer. You use the hoof. You make a lamp. You'd actually mount the head if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You'd save up enough money, but take it to a taxidermist. But that whole hide, we'd have them stretched out and salting them up. I mean, I didn't turn into a serial killer. I realized why we were doing it. It was food. My mom could cook venison. She could make venison goulash, venison burgers, venison steaks. I mean, it was unbelievable. And it was the healthiest meat you could probably eat back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, my mom, and God bless her, we talked about this, is from a different generation. And she gets up, we'd all have a handful of vitamins, and breakfast, and lunches to go. I mean, when you got 6 kids, holy smokes. But God, yeah, exactly. So when I meet a woman who can't cook, and my mom wasn't she was a cook. Her food functioned, and it was great. It was delicious and stuff. So when I meet somebody who can't, my mom had 6 kids. How busy could you be that you couldn't learn how to cook? You know what I mean?
That's what you hear today. I am so busy. I just have to stop and grab something on the way home.
Well, here's what you do. Here's what I do on Monday. I'll go to the grocery store and I'll get all my ingredients. Now, Tuesday's my day to listen to frickin' music. I'm in my kitchen. I'm doing all my prep work. I'm measuring out my things. And then all day Tuesday, I cook. And I put those meals in little Tupperware containers so I can eat them for lunch the next day or dinner the day after, or maybe have it on Friday night or Saturday for lunch. I have 4 meals besides the meal I'm prepping for myself. I mean, that's how you do it. It's called, that's how you become a gourmet for one. Gourmand.
That's exactly how my wife does it. My wife meal preps for the week. And she'll go, if you want something, just grab one of the Tupperware dishes out of there. Because like you and I, we're home during the day because we work nights. So she'll be like, if you want something for lunch, it's in the little grab one of those Tupperwares.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's the smartest way to do it. That way you're not wasting food. That way it's already cooked, and it's cooked. It's not going to go bad nearly as fast. And I just went down. I got a couple. My crock pot, man. I'm the crock pot king, bro.
Oh, me!
Put all the ingredients in, sit on high for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And you run out and do your errands and come back and boom.
And it could a crock pot can make anything good. Like all I have is a chicken breast and a can of chili. Throw it in a crock pot. 4 hours of just boiled together. You're like, that is the best chili I've ever invented.
Get the onions, the carrots, the celery. You get your triangle in there, your little stock, and then some mushrooms maybe if you want. Then you put that whole chicken in the chicken broth. It'll cook that whole chicken. And then you pull it out, you debone it, and take it apart. And put all those bones in a little cheese sack and put it back in so you get the marrow out of it. And then you put the nice chunky pieces of meat. It's almost like a chicken stew. I know. I watch the Food Channel like it's pornography. Cook that skirt steak.
That's what that is. Food Channel is basically porn for fat people. I mean,
well, it's also, listen, I'd rather sit there and educate myself about how to prepare meals and how to cook and stuff, and then sit there and watch some mindless babble, BJ and the Bear or some kind of stuff. I'm not really a big TV watcher, man. I watch, I like to get involved in some shows. Like I like the Jack Ryan series on Amazon.
Yeah.
I used to be a big fan of 24. I mean, I love that stuff. I'll go back and rewatch 24 from the beginning of the season, man.
Well, see,
the thing I loved about 24 is I was hoping there was a guy like Jack Bauer out there somewhere protecting everybody. Like there's a guy right now, there's a Jack Bauer out there working on the vaccination to get the vaccination for the coronavirus.
And only Trump knows who he is.
Bro, it's insane. It's insane. I mean, the problem is that, well, listen, like every time we're in a crisis like this, it always seems like we have the right person in charge at the time of a crisis.
Doesn't it?
Well, it really does. And I think, look, but I think we've gotten so far away from stuff. Like, there's no prayer in schools anymore.
Exactly.
There's no this or that. That there's 164 genders. There's a man and woman, and there's 164 fucking genders. Like, I go Hallmark. I wonder if there's a card for that. You know what I mean? It's the holy shit.
Yeah. Hey, how do you decide what you want to be? That's I just because that's now as it is. I identify.
Here's the first off. I think it's a
mental disorder.
Get killed, but if you look at this stuff, you go, well, why have we altered it? I mean, we're talking about fucking bathrooms, for God's sake. What are they going to make a reservation to use the hopper now? I'm a straight white male. Okay, take stall number 4, and will you be peeing or pooping today? I mean, it's a fucking bathroom. What do you think goes on there? What do you think? There's a salad bar in there? You think people are hanging out and freaking socializing in the fucking bathroom?
Why can't I go in there? What are they doing in there that I can't have?
Yeah, I want to drop mud. I mean, listen, we've lost our minds a little bit, and I think this is part of it. Listen, I'm a man. There are some things I cannot biologically do. There's some things that women do way better than I do. There's women have this, connection to Earth and all this stuff, and so do I feel less adequate because I don't have those skills? No, I'm going to crash their party when it's all female gym. No, fucking enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Well, what about things?
If you want to put a 95-pound woman on the fire department, she's not going to be able to carry a 235-pound guy down the steps. I mean, Listen, we live in a meritocracy. I don't give a fuck if you're purple, if you're green, you're yellow, black, white. I don't give a fuck as long as you were the best person for that fucking job at the right moment. I mean, I don't care. And the fact, like it goes back to what you were saying, is the lack of females on Trump's team. How do you know? How the fuck do you know who's behind the scenes? There's plenty of people that you don't see at these press conferences. And I got to tell you the truth. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn how to sign language, because it seems like those are the only fucking jobs people are getting now. You ever notice that they're very fucking animated, those people? Like,
yeah, the other day I noticed that the woman doing sign language was making the most horrific faces I'd ever seen. Like, what does that have to do with what he's saying?
If your fingers were full of shit, you'd be making crazy faces too. Listen, I remember when he had that sign language guy with Obama when he was in Africa.
Yeah, he didn't even know what he was doing.
I know the guy had 3 fucking moves. He was like a white guy at a wedding. He had 3 fucking moves. He kept repeating the same thing over and over again. I was like, holy shit, what's going on?
Oh, that's funny you said white at the wedding, because I have said before, white people should never wedding dance. There's something about, you should just call them out.
Well, no, there's nothing wrong with dancing, but you should not, look, it's a form of expression. I don't give a fuck what people do. Really, I'm not going to make fun of somebody dance. I'm a good dancer. Believe me, I grew up in the 70s. I grew up on disco. TSOP, the sounds of Philadelphia. I can move like a black man.
Oh, I can tell by the way I use my words.
Exactly, bro. I watched Saturday Night Fever like it was a how-to video. All right, you think you do?
Don't touch the hair. Don't touch the hair.
But so there's nothing wrong with people express, because it's really kind of a great form of self-expression. I mean, and some people are lousy at it. Don't get me wrong, but hey, maybe take a class a little bit, learn how to move your body.
Well, that's why I always used the ultimate white guy move. Was you basically just stood there and slightly moved and let people dance around you. I was basically a dance totem pole.
That's great, but it's funny because I actually studied dance when I was younger because, it was like magic. I went to a CAPA, the Creative and Performing Arts High School. And every Friday we had to take, one semester would be ballet, another semester would be modern jazz. We had to know how to use our bodies and move our bodies. I really was thinking about becoming an entertainer or an actor early on in my life. So when I was a sophomore in high school and a freshman, we just studied these classes, and then I actually studied it aside from because I thought it was fucking great. And there was all girls in the dance class. What a great way to meet women!
Wow.
And I was a male stripper for a while at Chippendales on Pale and Chubby Night. I danced under the name of Pinky for a while. That's how I made my living.
Pale and Chubby Night.
Pale and Chubby Night. I danced under the name of Pinky. And please, welcome to the stage, Pinky, because I'm fucking white. Nobody wants to see me naked. You know what I mean? The spotlight would hit me and blind everybody.
When they said rolling thunder, that just meant you rolled out and plopped down, huh?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was very capable of being an exotic dancer. A lot of people think this is a leg. It's actually a penis with a sneaker on the end of it. Listen, I could have made a good living had I chose to go that way, but I promised my mother I'd never do nudity.
Yeah, you were magic minuscule.
I was hung like a button on a fur coat. I could have gone that direction if I wanted to. Believe me, I could have gone that direction. But
Oh, that is hysterical. What actually did get you into stand-up? If you were trained like that, what made you move?
It's interesting. When I was 9, I got a magic kit. I got one of those TV magic kits.
Yeah, the linking rings and things.
Well, my older brother Bobby played drums. My brother Joe played the guitar. And so, the thing about growing up in a big family like that, you really kind of find your identity early.
If you follow your train of thought from what you just said, my brother played drums, the other played guitars, so I needed to do the linking rings. I saw what the band needed. They needed a magician.
Like my brothers. It's in the puppy world when a bitch gives birth to 11 mutts. And they all hang out together. They call litter syndrome. They all act alike and hang out alike. And so in order just to be different and find my own identity, I went to do something different. I grew up in a great family. But it's funny because on a Monday night, my mom would drop my brother off at drum lessons and my brother off at guitar lessons, which was at this shop. And 3 blocks down was a magic shop. And so while we waited, me and my mom would go to the magic shop, and I was allowed to buy one trick a week, and as long as I learned it, every Monday we could go back and get one and become. And so I took it seriously. I took some lessons, and actually by the time I was like 13, 14, 15, I had like 6, 7 gigs a month. I would go down to the Children's Hospital in Philadelphia, and I would do shows for these kids that were sick, that were getting treatments. But listen, they weren't paying me,
right?
But I was able to do my magic and get good at my magic because it was something I wanted to do, which is where I really kind of fell in love with performing. I fell in love with performing because you realize that you will put smiles on these kids' faces. And so, but all the African-American nurses that worked at St. Christopher's Hospital in Philadelphia would then hire me to do their church functions. So I would go, $250 for an hour show, or $350 for, it was like $250 for a half hour, $350 for an hour show. I had doves. My dad would drive me in his old beat up pickup truck. I had like this oversized hand-me-down tuxedo. I had my doves in a box with holes poked through it. I was, and I would go in there.
And what was your magic name?
It was the Great Shubdini, and then and it was funny, but I could make a living. I was getting gigs, but there were some of the worst areas. My dad would pull right up by the stage door. We'd run in. I'd set up. I'd do the show, and then right back out into the things with my doves.
Yeah.
And,
well, the secret to good magic is a fake thumb, right?
Well, there's a lot of secrets to magic. It's the oldest allied art form in the world. That's what I really love about it, more than performing it. It's an ancient art form. It goes all the way back to Merlin, and in the hieroglyphics on some of these pyramids, there's hieroglyphics of guys performing the cups and balls. I mean, that's how old this art form is. There's the principles of magic are old. The thing is to find a contemporary way to present them to an audience, which what I love about it. It challenged me on levels that stand-up does not. That's why I still do it. And actually, last summer, I went in and I auditioned for the Magic Castle here in Los Angeles, and I became a magician member.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, man. I was listening to this great He's a theologian and a poet and a philosopher, and his name's John O'Donohue. And he says, we all have these unlived lives. Like, had we decided and take that fork in the road as to this fork in the road, we could be doing something whole else. But those lives are still out there in existence. And sometimes you got to go visit them and reimagine and come up with a way. For me, I thought I was great at performing magic. And one of the ultimate tests would be if I auditioned for these 14 world-class magicians at the Magic Castle and was able to get accepted. Well, then it was something to do. It's a great place to go and visit and bring people from out of town. I love it. I love watching great magicians work as well, as much as I love great comedians work. I find them to be similar in ways, and also because I think if comedians had taken the disciplines and the practice and the performing and the working and instead you applied that to your stand-up, you'd be an amazing stand-up comedian. I mean, a lot of people just think you go up and fucking and just bullshit and talk, and they don't realize how difficult it is. I mean, I work on a bit for 2 fucking years to get the wording very precise and very right. I go, should I say it like this? Should I do it like this? Because if you change the inflection of one word, it changes it. It's not offensive, but it's more accessible to people. I've
been told, like, there's people that can say the word shit and you can visualize it, and then there's other people that you don't even realize they've used the word in the sentence because it was used correctly.
Yeah, it's a lot like my attitude says fuck you, so I don't really have to say a lot of F-bombs on stage, but I do. Maybe I'll use 3 in an hour set, but I mean, it's just but I just love it, man. That's where my mind goes. It's where my mind goes when I'm in the quiet moments and I get reflective. When I put my cell phone in the fucking microwave so it doesn't emit all that weird energy, and I'm out here working and critically thinking on stuff, and I let my mind go. Because you need those moments in your life. If you don't, you'll get chromatically lost.
Yeah.
And, you're inundated with this barrage of social media and commercials and this and that. It's just this barrage of
So
stuff.
you're not putting the phone in the microwave to protect it from hearing what you're talking about.
Well, there's that too. There's that as well. Absolutely, there's that as well.
Do you believe that stuff is true?
I got a news for you, man. They're listening to every fucking thing you say. You should perform and you should pretend every time you have your cell phone with you is they're listening and watching every fucking thing you say. You have about as much, used to be an expectation of privacy in this country, but now, you have about as much privacy as a goldfish in a fishbowl in the front window of a downtown Manhattan pet store at fucking rush hour.
Yeah.
Everybody can look in and see your fucking business. And if you're not operating like that, then you're a fucking idiot. I mean, we live in a digital panopticon right now.
Do you cover the lens on your computer, camera, or phone when you're
all
not using
time.
it? Yeah,
absolutely.
Because I've been seeing ads for products to like add to your laptop to slide the cover it up.
And it's all it's just pretend. Look, hey, if they and people go, well, they would never do it. Yeah, they would never release a fucking virus to create a pandemic either. That would never actually happen on purpose. Whether it's our government or not, I mean, you look at this fucking, there's fucking mice. They eat live fucking mice. I mean, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
I get it's a cultural thing, and I love learning about people cultures. I mean, there's a video. Someone sent me a fucking video of this old Chinese guy in a video. He's just fucking a chicken.
Yeah.
He's just fucking a chicken. I go, look. Jesus, is that how they get it so tender over there? General Chow's chicken?
Well, let's be honest. When you keep hearing for years how, all cultures are equal. They kept selling this for also all cultures. We need to accept their culture. No, all cultures are not equal. It doesn't mean you have to hate them or dislike them, but you have to be honest, like, that's not what we do here.
Well, it's interesting. I feel tremendously blessed and grateful that I've gotten to travel the world doing my art form. And whether that will continue or not is a whole nother fucking ballgame. But at least I can make a living in my own country. But I did go to those places. I did visit those places. And while I could still do it, I mean, hell, I went to Afghanistan to do shows on a DOD tour with Drew Carey. We went to some forward operating bases and performed in a war zone. I mean, you're actually doing jokes on the back of a truck under camouflage netting, and everybody in the audience has their M16. And a lot of them just got back from doing bivouacs and guard duty and all this other stuff. And so you bring a little bit of happiness to them. Whether that's going to continue now or not is a whole nother ballgame. But
well, I'm glad I did it when I could.
Are
you feeling any backlash from anybody in the industry because you've actually come out a little more toward the right or had a opinion that you like Trump?
Here's the thing. And a woman on CNN said this. They actually commented and praised Trump. Is that the way Trump goes at problems? It's not a Republican or a Democrat thing. It's how do we solve the problem? He's a very pragmatic guy in the way he goes after stuff. The way he's brought private industry into helping the government with the pandemic. I mean, he's a very look. You can say what you want. I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. All right. If you have to stick a label on me, I'm a libertarian. All right. But I do think the guy's been unfairly criticized and they've gone after him. And if you fucking hate him, you can hate him all you want. But then, got to realize something. Hate also consumes you. And you don't have to like him, but you have to cheer for him. You have to hope he does a good job. Because if he doesn't and we go down, it's like cheering for your pilot to crash the plane.
You're right.
You're a fucking lunatic. You're an absolute. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you if you do. And if you come after me for what I said, then there's something wrong with you. I think I'm a very well-balanced fucking human being.
Don't you think it's odd that they come after you, though? Not you particularly, but I've seen people that they come to your page.
Are they going to argue with reason? Are they going to? No, they're just going to name call you. It's the shallowest form. It's a moral indignation. It's a standard strategy to equip a fucking moron with some dignity. I don't know who said that, but I remember the quote. It's fucking fantastic. It's perfect. It's the moral indignation is a strategy to equip an idiot with dignity.
Yeah. Well, what I see on social media a lot of times, if you post something that is factual, how they attack you, but it's almost in swarm form. It's like ignorance in swarm, like,
you have to
piece
realize
of bread fell in and the perch are attacking it.
People attacking you, Steve, but it's not. It's one guy who has 40 Twitter accounts coming after you. It really is. I mean, listen, I talked to my guy about it. He goes, that's what happens. He goes, like, why would you do that? He goes, Jimmy, some people have no lives. They get paid to do it. They're fucking disinformation brokers, and they attack anything that's, if you don't get in lockstep and repeat the manifesto of the. But listen, man, you're playing from an old playbook.
Yeah.
You think your vote counts on my election? I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I've built a fucking amazing life and an amazing career, and you're not going to be able to fucking destroy that by attacking me with some fucking bullshit.
Right.
You're also not going to find some fucking hashtag Me Too story about Jimmy fucking Shubert, because I've never fucking treated people like that. My mom beat it into our heads. Do you treat people the way you expect to be treated? You go out of your way. You protect women. You look after women. I mean, my mom beat it into our heads. You know what I mean? I have too much self-worth to fucking ever worry about what anybody's going to say. If you don't want to be criticized, never do anything. Don't do anything.
Well,
Sit on your couch and watch fucking TV, because and all I really think a lot of those people are projecting their miserableness onto your own fucking life.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't pay attention to it because I know it's that. I know that most people, if you knew about what I've done or what I was able to contribute to society and help people, how many charitable functions I do a year to lend my time to raise money for, pediatric AIDS and different things like that, and how I've contributed to the homeless shelter here in Los Angeles every Christmas and Thanksgiving so families could be fed. You don't know me. You don't fucking know me. You know what I mean? You're going to attack me because I didn't fucking, because you were interpreting my words to mean something I never meant them to mean. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Just because I said I like Trump doesn't mean that I haven't been down at the homeless shelter on Thanksgiving feeding people.
Dude, I do it every year. I go down to the fucking Laugh Factory and feed fucking homeless people and feed on Christmas when I'm not working or I'm not visiting my family. That's where I'm at. So, I have compassion for people. I have empathy for people. Don't fucking judge me. And I just find this blind fucking hatred. It also consumes your life. Yeah. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it that you wasted some of your precious, valuable fucking time on this planet fucking hating anybody? Look, we're all connected. We're all living in a giant human ecosphere, and it's never been more obvious than right now. What hurts the people across the way hurts me. We're all connected, and the problem is, until we fucking realize that, we're never going to go. Love is the greatest fucking energy on earth, not fucking hate. Don't give into it. Fucking look, there's a lot of people I don't agree with. Do I want to argue with them? No. Do I want to fucking change their mind? No. Believe what the fuck you want. I'm going to believe what I want. I'm going to go live my life. I'm going to make a difference in the fucking world as best I can by bringing joy and happiness to people. And that's what I got. They're the skill sets I have.
And at this point, it sounds like the Ray Stevens song should kick in. Everything is beautiful.
Well, listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was raised in a healthy family with a healthy outlook. All right, I'm sorry I'm not filled with rage and hate, and I just listen. I just try to be a human being at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and none of us are perfect. So listen, we're entitled to our opinion. That's the part about living in a democracy. You can say you fucking hate Trump, but I'm not going to judge it.
Well,
I just don't hate the guy, and I actually think
we are exactly back at a time. If we went back again, like that song, "Everything Is Beautiful," or the song by Sly and the Family Stone. We all got to live together. We're at a time where everybody was trying to get back along. All this, if we could have all that kind of music again, like that fun, can't we all get along? Can't we all jump on the soul train? Can't we all?
Yeah, I listen, man. I mean, look. It's better to be somebody who fucking changed the world with your kindness and help people out. And you see a homeless guy, you go buy him a sandwich. You help an old lady across the street with her bags. You say please and thank you. And you know other people are going through shit that you're not even aware of. So don't judge them. You know what I mean? Maybe just give them a fucking smile. Let them know they fucking matter. It's just the little fucking things. Being a human being, it's the simple things. It's the little fucking things. And you want to fucking yell, and I mean, people who fucking yell and scream about fucking politics. I mean, is that what your fucking life is?
Well, politics is the new sport, isn't it? Politics is now new.
It's like professional wrestling. It's WWE. It's
pick your team. Pick your team.
They act like they care about you. They act like they're going to change the fucking world, and they're not. They're going to get up there. They're going to wrap their lips around the fat throbbing cock of corporate greed and fucking sell their souls and sell out the fucking rest of humanity as long as their bank account gets fat. As long as they all practice of politics of self-enrichment, and Republicans and Democrats and Republicans and Democrats. And this has been going on for the last 30 fucking years. You've been fucking over the middle class in this country. And that's why because they can only believe your lies so many fucking times.
And Trump woke people up.
Well, he's exposed a lot of shit.
Yeah.
That I had no idea. He's exposed it. You're right. The media does fucking tell fucking stories. They tell lies. They don't trust you. All those stories are written at a 4th grade level so the masses can wrap their minds around it. I mean, look what they've done. I mean, you've taken a network and you've ruined it.
CNN will never recover.
Well, they're like the people who cried, it's like the boy who cried wolf. You cry wolf so much and then you can't, then people are just going to go watch anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what you've done. I mean, Trump is this fucking rock, and these companies are just all crashing their ships on this rock, and they're not heeding any warnings. I mean, obviously, the guy knows what the fuck he's doing, okay? His greatest asset is that you think he's a moron, when the fact is that he's fucking 6 moves ahead of everybody else on the fucking playing field. And because he's a businessman, he's got stuff done. I mean, look at politicians. What do? A lot of them are 30-year fucking politicians. Look, the rest of us have to run businesses and be accountable. And if we don't get up and do the work, then our company suffers and we lose money and we could go broke. And we could lose our lives. So we have to get up every day and we have to work and it has to make sense to us.
Right.
And politicians don't. They get 4 years or 2 years and they get up there and they could be a complete fuck up and nothing can change. But then they get reelected. They're back up there for another 4 years. And God forbid it ends and they don't get reelected. Well, then they get health care and they get a pension for the rest of their fucking lives.
Well,
they're not really being held accountable.
Right.
And so you guys got like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders has been up there for 30 fucking years.
Saying the same exact thing.
If you were to make a fucking difference, you would have already done it. You're not going to be president to make a difference, Bernie. You could have been like, it's all these people like, oh, now you're gonna jump to the rescue and change everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to be president to do that.
Well, you know how you were saying that
you could be a senator or a fucking House of Representatives or be in the House of Representatives. I mean, you don't have to be a senator to change the world or make a difference to your constituency. The thing is, it's all fucking bullshit. These cable pundits, they badmouth, and then they all go out and have steak dinners and laugh because the rest of us are buying into it. Most Americans have more in common than they don't have in common.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I can't watch Fox and Friends, not Fox and Friends, but the Five a lot of times with Juan Williams, is because they'll argue with him, they'll call him wrong and crazy, and why could you say it? And then they'll turn around like, hey, we'll see you tomorrow. You're like, obviously, you're just hanging out. You're not really.
The thing is, look, listen, I think anybody's like, I unplugged. I don't listen anymore. I read my news in the morning, and then I go about my day. I mean, I'll think of some funny stuff to say about it, and then I go about my day. But I'm just not letting it rule my life anymore. And after we hang up here, I'm going to say my rosary and pray for the world, and then I'm going to go on a little walk and listen to my book on tape.
Everything is beautiful.
What are you going to do? We'll cut to 6 months. Me will be talking. Our hair will be all mangled. We'll have blemishes on our face. Listen, everything's going to fucking hell in a handbasket.
I've been in this basement for 6 months yelling the truth, and nobody's listening.
Yeah, but look, I just try to have a healthy attitude about things in life. I try to listen. I love my family. I love my friends. I root for the success. I'm not a jealous or a bitter human being at all. I've been so blessed in the fact I'm able to make my living doing something I'd love to do for 30 years, probably even 40 years if I go back to my fucking childhood.
Right.
I just feel incredibly blessed. And to address that comment, you're a failed comic. Yeah, motherfucker. You try to make a living for 30 years in this business and be able to pay your bills for the last 34 years in show business.
Right.
You go ahead and do it.
Thank you.
Why don't you go audition and get your own Comedy Central special and see how that works out for you? Why don't you try to do half the things I've done in my life and then judge me? I mean, it's like, I'm a failed comic. Why? Because I'm fucking happy and I get to live and doing something I love to do?
Yeah, because I can get a standing ovation at a comedy club. I'm a failed comic.
Yeah, I do get standing ovations at comedy clubs, as I'm sure you have done.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, you don't know my life.
Exactly.
You don't know what the fuck I do. You can't do what I do. So you're going to call me a has-been? Who's the has-been? I'd rather be a has-been than to have never have been.
At all.
You know what I mean? Get back in the basement. You fucking chud. You cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller.
God, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Chud, seriously. Chud is one of my favorite.
I knew you would get that reference.
Daniel Stern.
Because we're fucking pre-chud right now, bro.
Yeah.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller.
Chuds.
They're coming. Get chickens.
Jimmy, this is where I ask you to tell everybody how to find you. Like, what's the best way for them?
Follow me. People can follow me if you like what I've said and you've had a good time with this conversation. You could go to @Jimmy Shubert. It's SHUBERT on Twitter, also on Facebook. Jimmy Shubert comedian. Jimmy Shubert. I have a blue check mark. That's how you tell the difference. And you can follow me and go to my YouTube channel and follow me there at Comedy Pro, I think is my YouTube channel. Or you can just go to my website, which is jimmyshubert.com, and you can get to all those social media sites from there. Also, I do have a new album dropping on May 15th called Zero Tolerance.
Nice.
Which is the name of my special, which if you go to jimmyshubert.com, if you're self-quarantining like you should be and you're bored out of your fucking mind and you want to laugh your balls off, well, then you go to jimmyshubert.com and you can go get my special on Vimeo and you can rent it for $3.99 or if you don't it for $9.99, but you got to get the Vimeo platform and then you can watch whatever you want.
Well, there you go.
It's a hilarious 1 hour special of stand-up comedy. And Steve McGrew, I thank you for having me on, bro. I appreciate you doing what you do.
Let's do this again. Since we've got plenty of time on our hands over the next few weeks, we should do this 2 or 3 more times if you're up for it.
You know what, bro? I'll be here, bro. I'll be here beating off like Miggs from Silence of the Lambs. trying to get my white blood cells.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Put the lotion in the basket. But I mean, what have we come to? What have we done to ourselves?
Oh!
What have we done to us?
Oh! All right. Thanks for doing this, Jimmy, and I'll be in touch with you, and we will definitely do this again.
And all your listeners, stay safe. Really, it's not a joke. Be careful and wash your hands. And self-quarantine and stay away from people. And hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks, they'll get a hold of this thing and we all go living back to normal lives and be thankful that we're so blessed to live in the United States.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
America. Trump 2020. Talk to you soon.
That's almost really close as the way that I actually do in this podcast. I always go, God bless America. Go listen to some Oak Ridge Boys.
Okay. Well, then go listen to some Oak Ridge Boys. I got my iPad.
All right.
Guys, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. We'll do it again.
We'll see you. All right. Bye-bye.